Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. It's good to see you here. I want to especially thank Congresswoman Leslie Byrne for joining us, along with Stuart Proctor, the National Turkey Federation president, and the turkey, clapping for the president. Thomas Bross, the chairman of the Federation and a turkey farmer from Pennsylvania who raised this year's Thanksgiving turkey, the National Turkey Federation staff. Finally, I want to welcome the fourth grade students who are here from Springfield Estates Elementary School in Springfield, Virginia. Welcome to all of you. I'm glad you're here for Thanksgiving. President, this is my first year to have the honor of accepting the annual Thanksgiving turkey and granting the turkey the annual presidential pardon. After this ceremony, this turkey will retire to a 1930s working farm replica in Northern Virginia. We've come together today to have a little fun, but also to express our gratitudes in this Thanksgiving season for God's many blessings, a time to impress upon younger people the heritage of our nation and the commitment we all have to justice and freedom and peace. It's also a time to reach out in service to others not as fortunate as we are. In a few hours, Hillary and I will visit the New Covenant Baptist Church here in Washington, where church members and homeless families are coming together to prepare a Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving, when we all bask in the generosity and hospitality of our own family and friends, reminds us that we also belong to a larger community full of people who often are not as fortunate as we are. It's a time to value those things and to remember how strong we are when we come together to overcome adversity. In the last few months, I've had a chance to spend a lot of time in the Middle West dealing with the floods and their aftermath. And then last Sunday, I went to church in California with 24 people who went through the horrible trauma of the wildfires in the West. And I saw again what people can do when they pull together and remember that we are all in this together. Tomorrow, I'll have the great good fortune of celebrating Thanksgiving with my family, reflecting on the past year and looking to the future. I'll have the chance to say a prayer of thanks for the many blessings that I have enjoyed. I ask all of you to do that. I wish you well on this Thanksgiving, and to remember also our continuing obligations for our fellow Americans who don't have many of the things we take for granted. Together, we can make this country stronger and have even more to be thankful for next Thanksgiving. Thank you very much. And thank you for the applause. Somebody pointed out this morning that this may not be the only turkey I've had in my administration, but this is one I will certainly set free. Like this kid? How you doing? I'm sure glad you came to see us. Let the other kids come out. Anybody here who hasn't done it? You haven't had It'll be interesting to see whether anything's thrown up.
Beer. It's called a beer. That's how you can tell it's a male. And then this part right here is water. Red coat, please.
All the kids who haven't, if you've already patted the turkey, let someone else stand up and
No, don't say that to turkey lady.
with your dad? Yeah, I saw you out there with your dad. Was it Robert Trent Jones? And then Army Ned Aaron. Good night. Telephone. Yeah, I gave it enough.
Yeah.
Glad to see you again, Tom.
How does he compare to other turkeys you've met before?
You know, I'm experienced in this. I come from the 4th largest turkey growing state.
Is this your first presidential pardon?
It is my first presidential pardon.
You're going into great detail over there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we were talking to the kids about the turkeys and how to keep them calm. You know, just a very well-behaved turkey, though.
Yeah, we were hoping for something better, actually.
I asked the gentleman who raised them, you know, if they with any trouble in any extra effort to raise them, and he said that they had spent a lot of time hand feeding and everything, so he's more comfortable around people.
Were you concerned at all about this? Because this has been something.
So many of my predecessors have participated in the really ridiculous activities of it. I felt right at home.
Do you think?
No, I actually didn't mind it. I think it's kind of funny, and it's an annual ritual. And as I said, it's a little easier for me because I've been around turkeys for all the time. I didn't mean it like that. I come from a state that grows a lot of turkeys. We also, you know, have a huge wild turkey population at home. So it's just it's not as alien an experience for me as it would be for some people.
Do you think the founding fathers made the right choice not choosing a turkey as the national bird?
Well, you know, Franklin proposed it. He really did.
Yes, they did. Well, actually, let me tell you what Franklin meant. Wild turkeys, and they're quite beautiful. If you've ever seen them, they're bottom heavy, like regular turkeys, but they're quite beautiful, and they can go from 0 to 35 miles an hour in no time. Something most people don't know. Amazing creatures to see operate in the woods and listen. Being out there in the woods on an early November or December morning, listening to the turkeys. Actually, in our state, it's turkey season early.
Does this remind you of any of the members of Congress you've been dealing with in the last?
Speaking of that, what's the latest?
What's the latest on the Brady bill?
I don't know. Senator Mitchell has put a very, I think, good offer on the table. He has offered, with my strong support, to put in a separate bill as soon as we come back. The several provisions of the Brady bill that we don't think is weakening the bill that Senator Dole wanted, one of which deals with the automation of records and when that could supplant the waiting period when the records are automated that 67 senators voted for before, including Senator Dole. One deals with giving them what they wanted, which was a 4-year instead of a 5-year time period with an extra year that would be extended at the Attorney General's discretion. And I think there's another change in there. I mean, Senator Mitchell has gone the extra mile, and I have authorized him to say that I will strongly support the legislation so that it would permit the Senate Republicans to give up on their filibuster and send the Brady bill to us now, and we could give it to the American people for Thanksgiving. That's what I think they ought to do. We'll just have to see it.
Why do you think the Republicans are so adamant?
I don't know. I think they're just people who don't want the bill are holding it hostage. We should have done this long ago. It's an important first step in trying to get a hold of gun violence in this country and make our streets safer and enable our police officers to do their jobs better. And we now have the support of 80% of the American people. There's a big majority in the Senate. We know we have over 60 senators prepared to vote for this bill, but the political gridlock is holding one more than 40 of them in the filibuster system. 41% of the Senate I think it's a terrible mistake, and I hope we can break out of it today.
What kind of a political price are the Republicans going to pay for this after citing the statistics that you just did?
Well, I think the American people want us to act. I think they do not want this to be a partisan political issue. I think the safety of our streets has become also a national security issue. I think the American people want us to act, and I don't want to make it a partisan issue. I have been over backwards not to. I want to work with the Republicans on the crime bill. I want to put out 100,000 police officers on the street. I want that assault weapons ban. I don't think it ought to be a partisan issue. But their partisan filibuster is making it a partisan issue. And I think that it's a mistake for them to do it. But we're going to keep working as hard as we can. I still think we've got a chance to get it done. And I hope that the American people will be supportive. I know they are. That's what they're hearing out there. We just got to keep on plugging.
Hasn't it become personal also, Mr. President? Senator Dole thinks he was sandbagged by the Democrats.
Well, I know he thinks that, and I don't want to get into this because I can't. I mean, he says that. But this has nothing to do with the underlying merits. This is either a good bill or not a good bill, number one. Number two, the Republicans on the conference committee were not even on the regular committee, and there were people who had no intention of voting for the Brady bill if all the changes they wanted were adopted. So the Democrats argued that they felt that they didn't have they didn't know what they were supposed to talk about with people who weren't going to vote for it regardless, and who weren't even on the committee that had jurisdiction of the Brady bill. So you can hear arguments on both sides about that, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. This is a good thing for the American people. It's a good first step. It's the right thing to do. And none of us, all of us, if you stay around these battles now, you've been through all the stuff we've been through just in the last year, all of us. If you go around letting your personal feelings get in the way of doing the public interest, we never get anything done right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Think that's appropriate for today?
Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Look at this.
Guys, behind the rope, you dropped the rope.
Guys, hold up. Yeah, my pants are falling down.
The rope's been dropped.
Andrew, don't give us an education.
No, Turkey's been pardoned. No, we pardoned both. Both turkeys were pardoned. Yeah, right. It's a two-part.
You want to go back, folks? We go back to the palm. You want to go back?
Guys, pushing back. No, you push me. No, you push.
No pushing.
You want to know about turkeys? We never know.
Only shoving, no pushing.
I told you we were back on 50 every year.
Photo pool.
Ma'am.
Ma'am. How many? What number turkey is this? Thanks. Go for it.
God, I lost my How do you feel about red tie?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome the folks from the National Turkey Federation here, the Chairman, Sonny Faison, and the President, Stuart Proctor. And a special word of welcome to all the kids who are here from Horton's Kids in Anacostia, and all the rest of you who want to see one more turkey before Thanksgiving. This is a special day in the Rose Garden every year, and let me thank again the National Turkey Federation on their golden anniversary for donating a Thanksgiving turkey to the White House every year for 50 years. That's right. Now, this marks the 50th year when we give one more turkey in Washington a second chance. I want to acknowledge our special guest, this fine tom from the Tar Heel state of North Carolina, the #1 turkey-producing state in our nation. President Truman was the first president to pardon a turkey. But in some ways, the tradition actually began 83 years earlier when President Lincoln received a turkey for Christmas holiday. His son Tad grew so attached to the turkey that he named him Jack, and President Lincoln had no choice but to give Jack the full run of the White House. Jack was here actually for some monumental events. On Election Day in 1864, when Mr. Lincoln was running for re-election, a special polling place was actually set up right here on the grounds of the White House so that the soldiers could vote. Well, Jack the turkey actually strutted in front of some of the would-be voters and broke in line. Lincoln asked his son, "Why is your turkey at the polls? Does he vote?" Without hesitation, Tad said, "He's not old enough yet." Tomorrow, 45 million turkeys will make the ultimate sacrifice for America's feast, but not this one. I'm granting this turkey a permanent reprieve. After many years in the coop, he's on his way to a farm in Virginia to bask in the sun, collect his hard-earned pension, enjoy his golden years. And that's one less turkey in Washington. Happy Thanksgiving. You've been here last November, I would have let you go. No, you just freaked out.
Please sit down. As you can hear, I'm hoarse. I just got back from a long trip, but if you'll bear with me, I'll do my best to talk. I want to, first of all, thank the chairman of the National Turkey Federation, Jim Cooper, and his family for bringing the turkey here all the way from Oakwood, Ohio. His congressman, Representative Paul Gilmore, is here. I welcome him as well. I want to thank Stuart Proctor, the president of the National Turkey Federation, and Joel Brandenburger, the executive director. I want to thank the volunteers and young people from the Big Brothers and the Big Sisters program and the Boys and Girls Club of America for being here. You all know why we're here. Tomorrow, 45 million turkeys will play the supreme sacrifice for our Thanksgiving. So, continuing a tradition begun 50 years ago by President Truman, I am going to keep at least, one turkey off of the Thanksgiving dinner table by giving a pardon to a turkey from Ohio that will now go to the petting zoo that Kidwell Farms maintains in Fairfax, Virginia. We can all be grateful, therefore, that there will be one less turkey in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Let me thank the turkey farmers in Ohio, in my native state of Arkansas, and throughout the country for the fine job that they do all year long, and say how very grateful I am to see all the children here. Now let's pardon this bird. Thank you for coming.
How are you?
Kick that better. Here you go.
Hey, Mo.
Yeah. You see Gilmore?
Where's Gilmore?
Got the glasses on, round face.
Oh, I see.
Any luck? Excuse me. That's the dressing. Are you rolling? That look great.
Oh, that's good. Spit out, Carl.
More fat.
This amount.
Fall over. I think you weighed 65. How can I write on my copy? Lost some of its stuff. Carl. Ernie's got your pass on, man. Go get him.
Please sit down. You can hear on board as well. I want to thank Stuart Proctor, the President of the National Turkey Federation, and Joel Brandenburg, the executive director. I want to thank the volunteers. You all know why we're here. Tomorrow, 45 million turkeys will play the supreme sacrifice for our begun 50 years ago by President Truman. I am going to keep one turkey off of the Thanksgiving dinner table by giving a pardon to a turkey from Ohio, therefore that there will be one less turkey in Washington, D.C. Let me thank you.
How are you? Thank you. This is a great group.
Don't let the kids come up.
That's great.
Oh, come on.
This way.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. How you doing, man? Come on. Come on, come back.
Everything all set up.
Thanks, Mark.
It's a turkey dirge.
Sit down, everybody. I want to thank Secretary Glickman and National Turkey Federation Chairman Jerry Jerome and President Stuart Proctor for being here. And I want to welcome the young people who are here, especially those who are from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington. I am, what's all that noise up there? What is it? Somebody sounded like another turkey that fly down here. I want to thank the National Turkey Federation for once again donating this year's Tom Turkey. This is the 8th I've had the privilege to meet and set free in the Rose Garden. I'm told that Jerry the turkey traveled all the way here from Wisconsin, proving that the cheese state is about more than good cheese. Also, I might add, about a very well-behaved turkey. Tomorrow we will celebrate the first Thanksgiving of the new millennium and the last one of our presidency. As Hillary and Chelsea and I sit down to our dinner, we will give special thanks for the privilege it has been to live here and to serve for the last 8 years. It's still a bit of a mystery when exactly the first Thanksgiving was actually held. Some say it was in 1513 when Ponce de Leon landed in Florida. But the expert opinions about that are divided, and the recount is still underway. Others say it occurred in 1541 when Francisco Vasquez de Coronado arrived in the Texas Panhandle. Some conspiracy theorists say neither of those are true. The most popular story, of course, and the one all of us learned as kids, is that Native Americans and Pilgrims shared a feast of thanks to celebrate their first harvest in 1621, soon after the Pilgrims arrived in Plymouth, Massachusetts. It was a famous meal of maize, squash, and venison, and lasted 3 whole days. Now that would take a lot of turkey. But no matter what its roots, Thanksgiving is a tradition that has been celebrated in this country since our beginning. George Washington was the first president to declare a National Day of Thanks in 1789. And Abraham Lincoln made a tradition a permanent one in 1863, in the darkest days of the Civil War, because he recognized, as he put it, the blessings of fruitful years and healthful skies. Times have changed, but the message hasn't. To give thanks for all God's blessings, for our strong families, our spirited communities, and the good fortune of living in our country's most prosperous and peaceful time. I am profoundly grateful on this Thanksgiving that we have now more than 22 million new jobs, poverty and unemployment at record lows, and the highest home ownership in history. The American people worked hard for these results, and I hope they're thankful for them as well. We should also be grateful for the strength of our democracy and the freedom we enjoy. thanks to the courage and patriotism of our men and women in uniform, and the strength and abiding power of the Constitution and the rule of law. As we gather around our dinner tables with family and friends and celebrate our great bounty, we must not forget also those who will be hungry this holiday season. That's why it is so important that all Americans, like the young people here today, not only give thanks, but give something back to their communities to help those who are less fortunate than themselves. Almost 50 years ago, President Truman began the tradition of keeping at least one turkey off the Thanksgiving dinner table. And I am very pleased to follow in his footsteps and to hereby officially pardon this turkey in order that he be sent to the petting zoo in Fairfax County, Virginia, to live his remaining days in peace and happiness, making children happier, if not more peaceful. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving. Let's bring the turkey up. Thank you very much.
Oh, he's even got a White House pass. This is the most well-behaved turkey. He is feeling no pain.
was? Huh? We know who that little kid was?